The diplomatic shuttle cut through the void like a silver knife, its sleek hull reflecting the distant starlight. Commander Jack Miller stood motionless at the forward viewport, his reflection a study in controlled tension. Behind him, Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez performed final checks on their communication systems, her fingers dancing across holographic interfaces with practiced precision. Approaching council chamber in 3 minutes, announced the ship's artificial intelligence, its voice deliberately modulated to convey calm. Jack knew the significance of this moment. Humanity's first official reception into the Galactic Council was more than a diplomatic milestone. It was a statement of existence. The chamber itself was a marvel of alien engineering. Constructed from living crystalline materials that shifted and breathed like an organism, it hung in the middle of a carefully maintained spatial pocket. Billions of light years from Earth, this structure represented the nexus of galactic civilization, a place where hundreds of species had negotiated, traded, and occasionally threatened each other for millennia. Jack's mind drifted to the preparations that had led to this moment. The countless diplomatic meetings, the delicate negotiations, the scientific demonstrations that had gradually convinced the Council that humans were more than just another emerging species. They had beaten every expectation, shattered every preconception. Lieutenant Rodriguez approached, her dark eyes scanning the approaching structure. Preliminary scans show maximum diplomatic security protocols are in effect, she reported. The Zentari have locked down all external communication channels. They're taking no chances. A wry smile crossed Jack's face. No chances indeed. The Zentari, a species of collective-minded beings who communicated through complex biochemical signals, had been the most resistant to humanity's application. Their entire civilization was built on predictability, on carefully managed risk. Humans, with their chaotic innovation and unpredictable nature, represented everything the Zentari feared. The shuttle's advanced quantum dampeners engage, creating a perfect bubble of silence and stability as they approached the docking port. Intricate energy fields shimmered around the chamber, each layer a different form of protection against potential threats. Most species would require extensive decontamination and verification, but humans had already passed through more rigorous tests than any previous applicant. Docking sequence initiated, the AI announced. Microscopic tendrils of adaptive material began to interface with the shuttle's external hull, creating a perfect seal that would allow safe passage. Jack adjusted his dress uniform, a carefully designed piece that blended military precision with diplomatic elegance. Dark navy with subtle silver threading, it represented humanity's dual nature, disciplined yet adaptable. Each medal, each insignia told a story of survival, of pushing beyond known boundaries. Emma stood beside him, her own uniform a complementary design. They were more than just diplomatic representatives. They were living embodiments of humanity's journey. Survivors, innovators, explorers. The Zentari delegation waited beyond the docking port. Their bodies were a complex network of bioluminescent tendrils, capable of shifting color and form to express intricate emotional and communication states. Today, they were a muted blue-gray, a color signifying extreme caution and contained anxiety. "Remember," Jack said softly to Emma, "we're not here to conquer. We're here to demonstrate." The docking mechanism completed its complex sequence, a series of translucent doors, each capable of withstanding direct nuclear impact, slid open with a sound that was more felt than heard. The first true meeting between humanity's representatives and the full Galactic Council was about to begin. Neither Jack nor Emma knew exactly what would transpire, but they carried with them the collective hopes of a species that had survived its own near extinction, that had transformed a dying planet into a beacon of possibility. They carried the stories of generations, of wars survived, of technologies invented, of impossible challenges overcome. The doors finished their opening sequence. Beyond lay the most important room in the known universe. Jack Miller took a deep breath and stepped forward. The holographic display flickered to life, a three-dimensional canvas of human history that made the alien delegates lean forward in collective fascination. Commander Jack Miller stood at the center of the projection, his voice calm and measured as he began to unravel the complex tapestry of humanity's journey. The first images were brutal, scenes of global conflict that had nearly annihilated the species, massive wars that carved continents, environmental disasters that turned once thriving ecosystems into barren wastelands. The Krell representative's exoskeleton trembled, mandibles clicking in a pattern of deep uncertainty. No other species in galactic records had survived such self-inflicted devastation. But survival was only the beginning of the story. Jack's narrative transitioned, showing how humanity had transformed its greatest challenges into unprecedented opportunities. A sequence of holographic reconstructions demonstrated how global environmental collapse had sparked a technological renaissance. Cities rebuilt themselves using adaptive architectures that could reshape in response to climate extremes. Agricultural systems transformed, creating bioengineered crops that could survive in the most hostile conditions. Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez took over the presentation, her touch bringing forward images of humanity's most audacious scientific achievements. She displayed the progression of medical technologies that had essentially rewritten the rules of biological limitation. Genetic therapies that could repair cellular damage in minutes, neural interfaces that bridged the gap between human consciousness and advanced computing systems, prosthetic technologies that were more capable than original biological systems. The Zentari delegates exchanged rapid biochemical signals, their version of whispered conversations. Their collective mind was struggling to process what they were witnessing. Humanity appeared to be less a species and more a force of continuous transformation. A particularly striking sequence showed humanity's response to the great pandemic of 2029, a global crisis that had killed millions and threatened to collapse human civilization. Instead of succumbing, humans had developed revolutionary medical technologies in record time. Distributed research networks, AI-assisted drug discovery, and a level of global cooperation that defied all previous historical patterns. "We do not present this history as a point of pride," Jack explained, his voice cutting through the chamber's stunned silence. "We present it as evidence of our fundamental capability. Adaptation is not just something we do. It is who we are." The historical projection continued, revealing layer after layer of human complexity. Economic systems that had collapsed and been completely reimagined. Social structures that had been torn down and rebuilt multiple times. A species that seemed to view destruction not as an endpoint, but as an opportunity for reconstruction. Emma highlighted humanity's space exploration efforts. Unlike other species that had carefully expanded through generations of incremental movement, humans had launched themselves into the cosmos with a mixture of scientific precision and almost reckless courage. The first interstellar missions were not carefully calculated diplomatic expansions, but bold leaps into the unknown. The Krell representatives' data analysis appendages were working overtime, processing the information stream. Their species had taken thousands of generations to expand beyond their home system. Humans had done it in less than 2 centuries, transforming every technological and biological limitation into a mere suggestion. Most striking were the images of human cooperation, scenes of international rescue efforts, of scientific communities working across previous geopolitical boundaries, of technological innovations shared without immediate economic benefit. The galactic delegates had never seen a species so capable of collective action while maintaining individual creativity. As the presentation reached its conclusion, Jack and Emma stood side by side, living embodiments of the historical narrative they had just shared. The holographic display slowly faded, leaving behind a profound silence. The Galactic Council had invited humans to share their history, expecting a carefully curated diplomatic performance. Instead, they had been presented with a raw, unfiltered chronicle of a species that defied every known pattern of civilizational development. Jack Miller's final words hung in the air, a quiet declaration that would resonate through the chamber long after the presentation ended. "We are not here to be understood. We are here to demonstrate what is possible. Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez stepped forward, her presentation hologram flickering to life, with a series of images that defied every known principle of biological survival. The Galactic Council members leaned forward, their various sensory appendages trembling with a mixture of disbelief and scientific curiosity. The first case study focused on the Kepler 452 bits expedition, a mission that should have been a death sentence. A human research team had landed on a planet with conditions that would have instantaneously destroyed any known biological organism. Atmospheric pressure 3 times that of Earth's most extreme environments. Surface temperatures that fluctuated between -120 and +200 degrees Celsius. Radiation levels that would have shredded cellular structures in milliseconds. 6 months, Emma declared, her voice cutting through the chamber's stunned silence. That's how long they survived. The holographic display showed the team's living quarters, a marvel of adaptive engineering. Specialized exosuits that weren't just protective gear, but living systems that could reconfigure themselves in real time. Breathing apparatuses that didn't just filter air, but actively transformed the toxic atmosphere into breathable compounds. Nutrition systems that could extract sustenance from what other species would consider pure poison. Commander Jack Miller added context to the images. The team hadn't just survived. They had conducted groundbreaking research, geological samples, atmospheric composition studies, microbial analysis. Each day was a victory against impossible odds. The next sequence detailed the Europa Deep Exploration Mission, a project that made even the most seasoned alien researchers shift uncomfortably. Humans had developed technologies to explore the liquid oceans beneath the ice of Jupiter's moon, an environment more hostile than most species could comprehend. Special probe designs that could withstand crushing pressures, communication systems that worked through layers of ice and liquid, biological containment protocols that protected both the explorers and the potential alien ecosystems they might encounter. The mission wasn't just about survival. It was about careful, respectful exploration. Emma highlighted a series of medical interventions that bordered on miraculous. A human colonist on a low-gravity moon had developed a personal modification system that allowed her body to maintain muscle density and bone structure. Where other species would have deteriorated into biological puddles, this individual had not only survived but thrived. The Zentari representatives exchanged rapid biochemical signals. Their own species had strict limitations, specific environmental conditions that could not be breached. Humans seemed to view such limitations as mere suggestions. Jack revealed the most shocking survival story, the Mars Reconstruction Project. An entire human colony had survived a catastrophic life support system failure. Instead of waiting for rescue, they had systematically rebuilt their entire infrastructure using local resources. No external support, no advanced preparation. Pure human ingenuity and collaborative effort. The holographic display showed images of colonists working together, transforming the red planet's harsh environment. Makeshift greenhouses, recycling systems that turn nearly 100% of available resources into usable materials. Communication networks built from salvaged equipment. Each solution was a testament to human creativity. Most alien species had strict specialization. Engineers did engineering. Biologists did biology. Humans seemed to ignore such boundaries. The Mars colonists included medical doctors performing mechanical repairs, botanists doing electrical work, engineers growing food. Every individual was a multi-tool of survival. Emma's presentation took a philosophical turn. Survival is not just about maintaining biological functions, she explained. It's about maintaining hope, about seeing possibility where others see only limitation. The final segment showed something truly extraordinary. A human research team stranded on a moon with dwindling resources have developed a communication method using nothing more than modified mining equipment and a deep understanding of quantum entanglement. They had transformed what should have been a death scenario into a breakthrough in interstellar communication technology. As the presentation concluded, The Galactic Council members sat in profound silence. They had invited humans to share their survival stories. What they received was a fundamental challenge to every understanding of biological limitation. Jack Miller's final words echoed through the chamber. We do not survive despite the challenges. We survive by transforming the challenges themselves. Commander Jack Miller stepped forward, a holographic projection materializing around him. The device in his hand looked deceptively simple, a small metallic cube no larger than a human fist. But as the first layers of its capabilities began to unfold, the Galactic Council members realized they were witnessing something far beyond conventional technology. What you're seeing, Jack began, his voice measured and precise, is just the surface of our technological capabilities. The cube began to transform. Nanoscale mechanisms shifted and reconfigured, breaking every known rule of material science. Where other species saw technology as a static tool, humans had created living, adaptive systems that could reshape themselves in real time. Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez activated the first demonstration. The small cube exploded into a complex network of microscopic machines, each component capable of independent decision-making, yet working in perfect synchronization. Medical nanites that could enter a human body, diagnose cellular damage at the molecular level, and perform repairs with surgical precision that made traditional medical interventions look like crude carpentry. The Krell representatives' sensory appendages twitched uncontrollably. Their own medical technologies required entire research facilities, teams of specialized professionals, and weeks of preparation. Humans had condensed this into a device smaller than a communication module. Emma revealed the next layer of innovation, quantum communication systems that defied every established principle of interstellar communication. Traditional faster-than-light communication relied on massive energy expenditures and complex relay systems. The human device could transmit information across galactic distances using quantum entanglement principles that were simultaneously elegant and terrifyingly efficient. Information transfer is instantaneous, she explained. Completely secure. No signal degradation. No energy loss. The projection shifted, showing how these communication technologies had transformed human space exploration. Small research vessels equipped with these systems could maintain real-time communication across distances that would take other species decades to traverse. More importantly, the technology allowed for instantaneous knowledge transfer. Scientific discoveries could be shared the moment they were made. Jack moved to the next demonstration. Biological modification technologies that made the alien delegates collectively hold their breath. Humans had developed methods to temporarily reshape their own physiological structures. Adaptive skin membranes that could withstand extreme radiation. Respiratory systems that could process multiple atmospheric compositions. Neural interfaces that could integrate with both biological and mechanical systems. A series of images showed human explorers surviving environments that would have killed any other known species. A research team exploring a high-radiation planet, their bodies temporarily modified to absorb and convert dangerous radiation into cellular energy. Another team navigating a liquid methane ocean, their respiratory systems transformed into living filtration devices. The most shocking revelations came with the adaptive infrastructure technologies. Humans had developed construction methods that were more akin to living organisms than traditional engineering. Buildings that could reshape themselves in response to environmental changes. Spacecraft hulls that could self-repair, using local materials to patch damage in real time. Emma highlighted a research station on a volcanic moon. Traditional alien outposts would require constant maintenance and replacement. The human facility was essentially a living system, adapting to geological shifts, temperature changes, and potential meteor impacts. It wasn't just surviving, it was evolving. The quantum computing demonstration pushed the boundaries of comprehension. Where other species saw computing as a linear process, humans had developed systems that could explore multiple potential solutions simultaneously. Problem-solving algorithms that could generate millions of potential outcomes in milliseconds, adapting and learning with each iteration. Jack's final demonstration was perhaps the most unsettling. a technology that could interface directly with human neural networks, allowing for instantaneous skill transfer. A human could download decades of specialized training in moments. A surgeon could acquire the muscle memory of thousands of procedures. An engineer could integrate complex mathematical models directly into their cognitive processing. The Galactic Council sat in stunned silence. They had expected a technological presentation. What they received was a fundamental challenge to every understanding of technology, biology, and potential. Jack Miller's closing statement hung in the air like a profound challenge. Technology is not something we create. It's something we become. Dr. Catherine Roberts took the center stage, her presentation a clinical dissection of humanity's most profound evolutionary secret. The holographic display behind her began to unravel a narrative that would fundamentally challenge everything the Galactic Council understood about sentient species. "We are not just another civilization," she began, her voice steady and methodical. "We are the galaxy's first known sentient species to directly evolve from apex predators while maintaining complex emotional intelligence." The projection shifted, showing the intricate evolutionary path of human ancestors. Unlike other galactic species that had evolved from cooperative herbivores or collective insectoid organisms, humans emerged from a line of predatory mammals. Survival had meant more than just cooperation. It had demanded individual innovation, strategic thinking, and an unprecedented capacity for both empathy and calculated aggression. The Zentari delegates shifted uncomfortably. Their own species had evolved from collective marine organisms, with decision-making processes based on chemical consensus and shared neural networks. Humans represented something entirely different, a species where individual consciousness was a weapon of survival. Catherine's presentation dove deep into the psychological implications. Human predatory evolution had created a unique cognitive framework. Where other species saw challenges as threats to be avoided, humans saw them as opportunities to be conquered. Their brains were literally wired to find creative solutions under extreme stress. Neurological scans revealed extraordinary capabilities. The human brain could generate complex problem-solving strategies under conditions that would cause total cognitive shutdown in other species. Stress didn't paralyze humans. It activated them. Each challenge was an opportunity for transformation. The projection showed comparative studies. When faced with life-threatening scenarios, most galactic species defaulted to predetermined survival protocols. Humans did something entirely different. They reimagined the scenario itself. They didn't just survive. They found ways to thrive and grow from the experience. Commander Jack Miller added contextual commentary. Their predatory legacy wasn't about physical aggression, but about a fundamental approach to existence. Curiosity was a survival mechanism. Innovation was a form of hunting. Learning was predation of knowledge. Most shocking was the human's capacity for empathy, a trait that emerged directly from their predatory background. To hunt effectively, early humans had to understand their prey completely. This translated into an unprecedented ability to read complex emotional and social dynamics. Where other species saw empathy as a weakness, humans saw it as a strategic advantage. The biological analyses were revelatory. Human bodies retained physiological markers of their predatory origins, enhanced pattern recognition, quick-twitch muscle responses, an endocrine system that could flood the body with performance-enhancing chemicals in milliseconds. But these were balanced with complex emotional processing that allowed for nuanced decision-making. Catherine highlighted a critical evolutionary adaptation. Unlike other species with rigid specialization, humans had developed a remarkable cognitive flexibility. A human could transition from creative problem-solving to intense physical performance to deep emotional processing with remarkable ease. They were not just adaptive, they were fundamentally transformative. The presentation included case studies that defied conventional understanding. Humans who had survived impossible scenarios by completely reimagining the nature of survival. Explorers who had turned potential death scenarios into scientific breakthroughs. Researchers who viewed limitation as a challenge to be dismantled. A series of historical and contemporary examples demonstrated this unique psychological profile. Early human explorers who had crossed vast oceans in primitive wooden ships, modern space colonists who transformed hostile environments into thriving settlements, scientists who developed revolutionary technologies under extreme constraints. The Galactic Council members struggled to process the implications. This was not just another species presentation. This was a fundamental challenge to every understanding of evolutionary development, intelligence, and potential. Jack Miller's closing statement captured the essence of the presentation. We are not defined by our limitations. We are defined by our capacity to transform those limitations. As the holographic display faded, a profound silence filled the council chamber. The Predator's legacy was no longer just a biological footnote. It was a blueprint for a new understanding of sentient potential. The Galactic Council's Emergency Threat Assessment Chamber was a marvel of intergalactic engineering. Suspended in a zero-gravity pocket between realms, the circular room housed representatives from 17 different species, each equipped with the most advanced analytical technologies in known space. Director Zara Vex of the Krell Analytical Collective took the central platform. Her multi-processed neural network was already struggling to integrate the data about humans. Normally, threat assessments were clinical, predictable affairs. This one felt different. This one felt dangerous. Preliminary analysis confirms unprecedented variables. She began, her voice a carefully modulated frequency that could be simultaneously understood by all present. Holographic displays erupted around her, showing complex mathematical models that attempted to quantify human potential. The first set of data focused on technological adaptation. Most species develop technology incrementally, with carefully managed research protocols. Humans seem to view technological innovation as a form of evolutionary expression. They didn't just create tools, they transformed themselves through technology. Comparative models showed a stark difference. Where other species might take thousands of years to develop a single advanced technology, humans could generate multiple revolutionary innovations within a single generation. Their research and development cycles defied every known scientific projection. The Zentari representatives bioluminescent tendrils pulsed with nervous energy. The mathematical models suggested that human potential was not just unpredictable, it was exponential. Each technological breakthrough created conditions for multiple subsequent innovations in a cycle of transformation that most species couldn't comprehend. Military potential assessments were equally disturbing. Humans did not view conflict as a binary engagement of force. Their strategic thinking incorporated psychological, technological, and adaptive elements that made traditional warfare models obsolete. They could turn potential defeat into strategic advantage with a speed that defied conventional understanding. Director Vex highlighted a critical observation. Human military history showed a consistent pattern of transforming limitations into opportunities. Technological innovations often emerged directly from conflict scenarios. Where other species saw destruction, humans saw potential for reconstruction and advancement. The resource utilization models were revolutionary. Most galactic species approached resource management with strict conservation protocols. Humans saw resources as dynamic systems to be transformed. They could take what other species considered waste and generate entirely new technological or biological solutions. Psychological profile analyses revealed something even more concerning. Human individuals possessed an unprecedented combination of collaborative potential and individual innovation. They could work in complex social structures while maintaining remarkable individual creative capacity. Each human was simultaneously a potential team member and a potential revolutionary. Population dynamics models showed another alarming trend. Humans didn't just reproduce, they actively developed technologies to expand their adaptive potential. Genetic modifications, advanced medical technologies, and a cultural emphasis on continuous learning meant each generation was fundamentally more capable than the previous one. The most unsettling data came from their space exploration strategies, where other species carefully mapped and studied potential colonization sites for generations. Humans would develop technologies to transform inhospitable environments in real time. A planet considered uninhabitable by other species could become a thriving human settlement within decades. Diplomatic interaction models suggested an even more complex threat. Humans didn't view other species as static entities. They approached every interaction as a potential opportunity for mutual transformation. Their communication strategies incorporated elements of empathy, strategic thinking, and genuine curiosity that defied traditional diplomatic protocols. The final assessment was both a warning and a recognition. Humans were not just another species to be categorized and managed. They represented a fundamental challenge to every existing understanding of civilizational development. Director Vex's concluding statement hung in the chamber like a profound challenge. Recommendation: engagement, not containment. These are not beings to be feared. These are beings to be understood. As the holographic displays faded, an unspoken agreement settled over the assembled representatives. The galaxy had just encountered a species that didn't just challenge the existing order. They were capable of completely reimagining it. Humanity was not a threat to be neutralized. They were a potential transformation waiting to be understood. The diplomatic chambers fell silent as the implications of humanity's presentation settled like a gravitational wave. Representatives from 17 different galactic civilizations exchanged glances that spoke volumes without a single word being uttered. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez understood the subtext perfectly. This was not a moment of simple acceptance. This was a carefully choreographed dance of survival and strategy. The Zentari delegation made the first move. Their lead representative, a being composed of interconnected bioluminescent tendrils, extended a series of complex biochemical signals. Most species would have missed the nuance, but humans had spent decades studying interspecies communication. "We propose a collaborative research initiative," the Zentari representative communicated, their biochemical language translating to a carefully measured diplomatic overture. The underlying message was clear: containment through controlled engagement. Commander Jack Miller stepped forward, his posture a perfect balance of openness and strategic awareness. Humans had not survived by being naive. They understood the game being played far too well. The diplomatic protocols were intricate. On the surface, it appeared to be a standard integration process. Beneath that surface, it was a complex negotiation of potential and threat. Each species was attempting to understand how to manage humanity's unexpected potential without triggering a conflict that could destabilize the existing galactic order. The Krell Analytical Collective proposed a series of technology-sharing protocols. Their real intention was clear: to gain direct access to human innovative processes. They wanted to understand the mechanism of human creativity, hoping to either replicate or control it. Elena recognized the strategy immediately. It was a multi-layered approach designed to achieve multiple objectives simultaneously: restrict human expansion, gain access to their technological innovations, maintain the existing power structures. What the other species failed to understand was humanity's fundamental approach to such negotiations. Where other civilizations saw limitation, humans saw opportunity. Every restriction was a puzzle to be solved. Every diplomatic barrier was a challenge to be transformed. The proposed research initiatives were deliberately complex, collaborative projects that would require humans to work within existing galactic research frameworks. Carefully constructed agreements that seemed to limit human potential but would, in reality, provide unprecedented opportunities for innovation. Jack Miller's response was a masterpiece of diplomatic subtlety. He agreed to the proposals with a level of enthusiasm that made the other species simultaneously relieved and nervous. Humans had a remarkable ability to find opportunities in the most restrictive environments. The underlying message was clear: humanity would not be contained. They would be transformed. Each species brought their own strategy to the negotiation. The crystalline consciousness of the Nexus Collective proposed communication network integrations. The hive mind representatives of the quantum assemblage suggested collaborative exploration protocols. Each proposal was both an invitation and a potential trap. Elena watched the negotiations with a mix of professional diplomacy and internal amusement. Humans had spent centuries navigating complex social and political landscapes on their own planet. Interstellar diplomacy was just another form of the same challenge. The unspoken understanding was profound. The other species were not just trying to manage humanity. They were trying to understand a fundamental paradigm shift. Humans represented something entirely new in the galactic ecosystem, a species that did not just adapt to environments, but actively transformed them. Commander Miller's final statement captured the essence of the moment. Cooperation is not about limitation. It's about mutual transformation. As the diplomatic session concluded, an intricate web of agreements, research protocols, and collaborative initiatives had been established. On the surface, it appeared to be a standard integration process. Beneath that surface, it was a complex negotiation of potential and survival. The galaxy had just changed, and everyone in that room knew it. The real challenge was not how to contain humanity. The real challenge was how to coexist with a species that sought every limitation as an opportunity for growth. The diplomatic shuttle carrying Commander Jack Miller and Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez departed the Galactic Council chambers, leaving behind a profound silence that would echo through interstellar history. Outside the chamber's crystalline walls, the universe seemed to pause. Something fundamental had changed. The other species knew it. Humanity knew it. This was more than a simple diplomatic meeting. This was a pivotal moment of galactic transformation. Dr. Catherine Roberts, who had been part of the human delegation, reviewed the final transmission logs. The data showed something remarkable. Every species present had simultaneously processed the human presentation through multiple analytical systems. They weren't just listening. They were trying to understand a fundamentally new form of existence. The shuttle's quantum communication systems hummed with encrypted transmissions. Preliminary research proposals, collaborative initiative drafts, and technological exchange protocols were already being drafted. Where other species would have taken decades to generate such documentation, humans had produced comprehensive frameworks within hours. Emma studied the initial diplomatic responses. The Zentary's biochemical communication patterns revealed a mix of anxiety and grudging respect. The Krell Analytical Collective's mathematical models were already attempting to predict potential human innovation trajectories. Each species was trying to categorize humanity, and each was fundamentally failing. Jack understood the deeper implications. This was not about humanity joining the Galactic Council. This was about introducing a new evolutionary paradigm to an established galactic ecosystem. The shuttle's advanced systems captured something extraordinary. Background quantum communication networks were already shifting. Information exchange protocols were being rewritten. The mere presence of human representatives had begun to transform existing galactic communication infrastructures. Aboard the shuttle, the human delegation was not celebrating. They were analyzing, planning, understanding that this was just the beginning of a much larger journey. Dr. Roberts presented her initial observations. Humanity's integration would not be a simple addition to the existing galactic order. It would be a fundamental reimagining of what that order could mean. Their evolutionary background, technological capabilities, and unique psychological profile represented more than just a new species. They represented a new concept of potential. The shuttle's data streams showed immediate ripple effects. Research institutions across multiple star systems were already requesting collaborative projects. Technological innovation centers were realigning their research priorities. Educational systems were beginning to incorporate human adaptive learning models. Emma highlighted a critical observation. Humans were not just sharing technology. They were sharing a way of thinking, a perspective that saw challenges as opportunities, a worldview that transformed limitations into potential. Jack reviewed the diplomatic exchanges. The other species were simultaneously inviting humanity into their existing structures and preparing defensive mechanisms. They wanted human innovation. They were also terrified of its implications. The shuttle passed through a quantum communication relay, and Dr. Roberts noticed something fascinating. The relay itself seemed to be subtly reconfiguring its communication protocols. as if the very infrastructure was adapting to the new potential humanity represented. Preliminary reports suggested that human representatives had already proposed over 200 collaborative research initiatives during the initial meeting. Each proposal was a potential technological or social revolution. Each suggestion challenged existing galactic understanding. The shuttle's destination was not a return to Earth. It was a newly established research station, a collaborative hub designed to facilitate interspecies innovation. This was humanity's true first step into the galactic community. Jack's final log entry captured the moment's significance. We are not here to conquer. We are here to transform. Not just ourselves, not just other species, but the very concept of what potential can mean. As the shuttle entered quantum translation space, the universe seemed to hold its breath. Something fundamental had changed. Humanity had not just joined the Galactic Council. They had introduced the possibility of continuous, unbounded transformation. The real journey was just beginning.